This week's peaceful pattern is called Organic. It's by Sinatika Ray. It was, of course, found on tanglepatterns.com. And I think this one is so cute and has a lot of options for a border or for a fill. So let's get started. But first, let's start at the beginning. Hi everyone, it's K-Red, and welcome to my 2025 Peaceful Patterns Weekly Challenge. By creating a new tile each week, together we can learn something new, but most important, find some peace and calm in the chaos of this world. So let's get started. We're going to start at the bottom left corner. I'm going to work my way up. I've seen it online done both ways. I've tried both ways, and I kind of liked the bottom up best, and that is the way Sanika did it, so let's give that a try. And we're going to start by making kind of like a candy cane. A curved line and then a long line. You want to give yourself just a little bit of a length here. And then you're going to try to reproduce the same thing up above it. So we're going to just do the curve and go straight down so that we are closing that gap. Then I'm going to turn my tile so I can have it nice and easy to determine where to go. And we're going to come down. Now if you're like me and you miss it marked by just a little bit, go ahead and extend it and close it off. And you'll see that's not going to hurt you at all as we move on. It's just a question of whether you made that top hook quite long enough. So let's do it again. That one's a little bit fatter, so you're going to see how if you kept them consistent, it'd be a little bit better, but let's keep going. And you'll see the difference. And then for the last one, let's go ahead and do a bit of a curlicue and then down, because we're going to let that be our top and our last one. So this is going to be step 1. So let's go ahead and put a 1 next to it. And that is the first step, each of these lines. So the next step, let me go ahead and reproduce that before we switch to the red pin. And we're going to reproduce our lines. And a nice side effect of the step outs is doing them side by side is kind of convenient and easy, because you can make them match by following them across pretty well. So that's kind of a neat little bonus if you're doing these in a fill of a rose. And then we'll do our curlicue on top. So that kind of gets us to where we left off. Let me switch to my red pin. All right, I have my red pin. I hope you all are doing good today. If you heard that, I just dropped the lid to the red pin. And let's start. So what we're going to be doing is, I'll grab a pencil real quick so I can show you once with a pencil, is we are going to be drawing off some lines from these. Now what I have learned is I have a tendency to want to redraw each one separate on their own. And I don't recommend doing that. I think it looks a little bit nicer. Let me show you how I prefer it to be done, or how I think it looked nice to be done, is to come right off of that line. So we're coming right off it. So rather than drawing it next to it, I'm just continuing off that line above it. Now because this is the bottom one, I'm going to go ahead and bring them to a point. The others, we're going to go straight along these lines. So let's do that again. So rather than coming here and drawing a new line, I'm going to come right off of that one. Each time, diminishing it just a small amount. And I'm stopping where the black line stopped, where the candy cane before it had started. Let's do it one more time, trying to go nice and slow. My anxiety today, it's been a super busy week. So I am full of anxiety today, so you'll have to forgive me just a little bit as I draw through that and experience the calm that I will get from drawing. But we're just making these great little descending kind of lines. Now this is the one that's a little bit longer. So I'm going to go a little bit slower. When you do yours, you can try to make these, see how these are one length and these are a little bit skinnier. You could try to make them, these are a little bit fatter. Try to make them all the same, a little bit more than I am. And if you're like me, once you notice something like that, you tend to overcompensate it and make it much bigger, whereas that's much bigger and that's much smaller. And I want to tell you all that is okay. It's okay to not be perfect at this. It's okay to not have them exact. That's really important. That is why we do what we do. So let's go ahead and let me get caught up here with doing it one more time here so we can show you how this finishes out. So while I'm drawing, I want to welcome anybody who's new. I really appreciate that you are here. Each week on Peaceful Patterns on my YouTube channel, we find a new Zentangle pattern. And just a quick drop. See, I didn't close that candy cane enough. I'll just do it next time. Where we take time and learn a new tangle, learn a little bit about who made it. We learn her name or his name and all of that. On my channel, as you'll see as we go forward, that I am not a natural artist. I don't. Now look, I'm going to hold up. I'm going to have trouble talking because it looks like I am off just a little bit from where I was on the previous one. So this is going to have a little bit more. So rather than closing it this way to this, like we did on that one, I'm going to add my curly Q and close it this way. I just didn't have the brain bandwidth or the brain power to do that without stopping talking. So thank you for that indulgence. But each week we learn a new pattern. Please check out my videos so you can see how we've done them before. On this channel, I am not an artist, naturally. I don't have an artistic eye, or I am a little more analytical and a little less creative. I have found that with my job being stressful, I have found a great release and a great comfort and joy in pen and paper. In this world of technology and in this world of computers, there is something wonderful to me, to my brain, about a pen and a paper and doing it by hand. So that is what I do. So you are welcome to be here, whatever your ability is. Online will show you lots of places where a true creative artist does these and they turn out fabulous. But I also want to encourage any of you out there like me who may not be naturally artistic. If you continue to draw, you continue to try, in no time you'll have some more pen control and you'll be in far better shape. So now what I've done on here is I've got us caught up, right? So I did the first steps, and then the red was step 2. And now for step 3, we're going to switch back to the red pen, and I'm going to show you how it gets finished off. And it gets finished off by filling in these opening spots. Now it's going to look just slightly off because of course those are being filled in red rather than filled in black. And since I didn't really give myself enough room to do a full another row, why don't we do something just a little crazy and different? And we'll call this bottom half, let me get my black pen real quick. This bottom half we'll call step 3. And it shows how it ends. That is the end of the pattern without shading. But for this top half, let's switch to the black pen so we can have a couple examples. The way I use these is I create these cards, and I'll show you at the end how I put them all together. And in the future, these are my creative prompts, as it were. These are, I'll be able to look at these. I'll be able to see what the tangle is called. I'll be able to know that where I got it from. So far, they've all been tanglepatterns.com. And I'll be able to just get some ideas for it. So I'd like to show some different variations on the tiles. I just went a little bit big on this one. This one, to me, to look right, leans towards a larger pattern. So we'll do these top ones, all colored in black. And they'll just give us a better idea of what they look like. I would like this best to follow in with that black circle, so I'm going to do that. And this is organic. by CZT Sinita Ray. And it is absolutely gorgeous. I'm definitely going to be making a short in the future with this pattern where I could put on some music and just fill a whole page with just this pattern over and over in different styles and different ways. But before I get there, before I just go start playing, let's finish this off. And let's finish it off with some shading. Let me grab a little shading tool, a little blending stick or tortillon, or they have a lot of names, but I'm afraid I'm not real good with some of those artistic terminologies. But so there's a couple of ways we can shade these. I think I'd like to start by shading the bottom. And I think I'd like a softer pen. This is an HB and it's a little bit hard, or pencil, not pen. This is an HB pencil and it's a little bit hard for me. So I'm going to go ahead and go to a 3B. And it's just a little bit softer. And I don't know if you can pick up the difference on there, but on here you can see the little lines better. And on here with that softer lead, it just blends a little bit better and a little bit easier. Don't worry about having any special pencils. Don't worry about having any of these. I have watched a gentleman, a British gentleman, I believe he is, online who did a lot of pencil drawings. They are amazing. I'll put a link down below because I think his channel is worth watching, whatever your skill level is. And I ended up buying some pencils and learning a little bit about pencil weights from him. Let's feather this out just a little bit. We're going to do our blending tools. We're going to blend it in and we're going to feather it out just a little bit. Now, of course, these with the red are going to look a little bit different. That's kind of neat, actually. I kind of like it. And we're just going to fill in this bottom to make it help the eye have the illusion of it blending into the design below it. I am not one that really typically likes hard shading. I almost always feather mine out pretty good and like mine to be blended pretty well. It's just a personal preference. And I think I want these bottom ones to have a little bit more shade than the ones on the higher side. So we'll shade those up just a little bit more. And there we go. That is organic. So let's continue off our tile. I flip it over. We're going to put on here organic. And I'm going to have to see how to spell her name. Bear with me. It's S-A-Y-A-N-I. Oh, A-N. Oh, well. I spelled her name wrong. I feel horrible. That was not my goal. I do apologize for that to her. If you see this, please know I loved your design and definitely want you to have the respect you deserve on your name. But there we go. And it is Sinica Ray. And I found the pattern on tanglepatterns.com, where you can see her step out. Hers is done a little bit different than mine. I tend to combine mine a little bit more. And it looks just like that. Let's go ahead and put a hole punch in it. Oh, and it's so funny. It goes right onto the top of that one. But that won't be any problem for me. How ironic. If I could have moved everything over, it would have planned out a little bit better. So here's my ever-growing list of tiles that I have done. And we're going to add this. Oops, pardon that. We're going to add these right to it so we can have them in. And that is it for this week's Peaceful Pattern. What we have right here, it is called Organic by CZD Sinica Ray. And I love it. Thank you. Be safe. Find some calm in this crazy world. And we'll see you next week.